I think it's just in my DNA. Like I don't expect something in return. I don't believe that you should do things because you expect something in return. I think you do them simply because they're the right thing to do with people's paths that you cross. A couple of years ago, I created kind of this statement that I call the one more, because you recognize that in order for opportunity and access to be available to more people, which is ultimately about how do you make the world better from today to the future for our children, for future generations, that you need kind of this ability to say, when I am presented with opportunities, how do I also bring one more person to the table? So I created this idea around one more. Came from my friend who happens to be an Olympics medalist. So she's three-time Olympian, two-time Olympic medalist in the moguls. And she was telling me about her training routine when she was training for the Olympics. And she said, Sid, when I train, I decided early on that every time I would do like one more thing, I'd do one more squat, I'd do one more push-up. At the very end, I'd just agree to do like one more tiny thing. And as I was listening to her, I was like, you're right, because the one more thing, sure, it's like super maybe hard and painful, but it's not really. In the moment, it's just like one more tiny thing. But over the course of a life, it allowed you to become an Olympian, to go to the Olympics 3 times. That's incredible. And so then I started thinking about what that meant in our individual lives. And what happens if we think about one more? Like when you're invited to an event, what happens if you just invite one more person to the table who wouldn't get opportunity in that networking circle? Or you invite one more person to the boardroom when you present. Or instead of turning down the invitation that you can't make, you're like, you know what? I bet someone else would go with me. How do you just do one more small thing that almost takes no time at all, but over the course of time leads to really massive, monumental impact for individuals? Because we often think that making impact for others is this huge grand plan that takes all of the effort and time that we don't have, but it doesn't. It's in our daily lives of just remembering that there's someone that if you tapped on the shoulder, if you brought to the room, if you gave them one more tiny piece of thing that's almost meaningless for you, it would change their life potentially.